Je vais parler de how and why I've had a total 180 on the subject of cooking. Yep, one of those real life skills and or life hacks of modernity. Really, I swear by now. So let's get to it. XenPuck here, right? One of my newest hobbies is cooking at home. Yep, that's right. I've gone from the guy who just buys supermarket to, already made warm food and takeout to guy who's basically tried to replicate most of the food I've ever bought previously. I mean, the pandemic era distancing years definitely contributed to this growth. That and the whole I'm retired early thing as well. Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say these factors didn't contribute greatly. They absolutely did. It is easier for me to cook because I've got a ton of free time than the average person. Yes, but today I want to talk about the subject anyway because I think it is absolutely a crucial life skill, right? It's one I've neglected the majority of my life though. So maybe for the youth out there who accidentally chance upon this clip, it might help. Yeah. Sorry, there will be no delicious food pics in this video whatsoever though. I'm not editing that crap in. It's not about the specific food. This clip is about why you should get into it, okay? By the way, I also gotta do a quick definition of what I mean when I say cooking, okay? Tossing pre-shredded salad mixed with store-bought, dressing, that does not count. Microwaving anything in a package or plastic package really doesn't count either. But I am going to not ignore the microwave entirely. I'd say if you buy raw ingredients and somehow mix, cook, or replace with, mechanical kitchen tools of some sort with intention and invention, that would count. Oh boy, maybe I'll regret this very broad definition of cooking yet, okay? Anyway, if you enjoy some random rants from a dude with no production skills, clearly, like, subscribe, share, and all that whatever social media, okay, stuff. I'll be great regardless because I just do these for funsies. Hit that bell icon. I honestly don't know what that is, but people who watch YouTube all the time probably knows, right? There will be no cool graphics, remember, but because visual stimuli are for posers. Boom. So, the number one reason to cook at home, oh boy, of course, is that the tremendous amount of value you can derive from it, monetary value, I mean. This is also the reason why I didn't cook for a long time. So a bit of a double-edged sword here, okay? What I mean, of course, is that you can save quite a bit of dollars by cooking food yourself instead of takeout or obviously dining out at a restaurant, right? I see all these complaints about how even fast food is now expensive at 10 to 15 bucks, maybe even 20 bucks. That's absolutely true, but I think people are forgetting that even the cheapest fast food are run by restaurants. Anything from a restaurant comes at a significant price premium, right? At home, as a frugal person, I expect normal meals, on average, to be below the value of $5 per person per meal, at most, okay? Frankly, it can even be much lower than that, okay? Especially when one gets good at cooking and learns the magic of spices, right? It's not just about expensive ingredients. By the way, all meals are much cheaper, right? Not just the ones that I said that should be on average less than $5, right? A great example would be a steak dinner at a restaurant could easily run over $100 these days. Do it at home, it'll be half as much, maybe even a third as much. So do you have money? So this way you have money for other things, right? Do you really need to be served by a waitstaff and have to worry about tipflation as well? Obviously, that is a personal choice. Caveat here is, of course, I did not care about the whole price premium against home cooking for a long time, mostly because I was in the period of my time where I was interested primarily on maximizing my tremendous income potential, right? The rate of my income increasing was crushing inflation during my entire corporate career. Would you say that is the same scenario for yourself? Because if you're making more and more money every year, sure, have somebody else make your food. That's not a bad economic decision. But if your pay is stagnating or just barely increasing, then that calculation may tell a totally different story, especially when it comes to whether you should start making some of your own food at home. Second bit, control, right? I'm talking about control of ingredients, of course. I'd say this is a bit of an advanced tip for people who actually have already started the journey of cooking, right? My primary and first example was the simplest, which is just I wanted to jazz up my instant noodles, right? That was the lowest level of cooking I'd recognize, right? Because instant noodles is a noodle soup that's quick and easy. That's just noodles in a pot of water that's boiled, okay? That sounds totally lame and boring. And I got tired of that type of box instruction very quickly, right? So here's where control comes in, right? From what I just described to right now, these days I add at least an egg poached, some veggies like broccoli or gailan or spinach or corn, some additional protein like fish balls or beef tendons or a pork rib, and yet still more fermented veggies like bamboo shoots or olives in chili oil, right? Possibly even some more additional animal fat when I have that on hand, right? So what started as a really boring cup of noodles has now become a feast for both the eyes, the nose, and one's own specific type of palate, right? I've even gotten to optimizing the actual, I haven't even gotten to optimizing the actual noodles or making my own sous vide pork belly or something like that, okay? Though, you know, I have actually made sous vide pork belly before, just not specifically for ramen, right? And it's amazing. My point is no one, including the greatest chefs in the world, can customize and optimize for you personally than you, okay? They can't do that as well as you can, right? Because once you start experimenting, there's no limit in what you can find out about specifically what you like, okay? That's the power of control. Finally, I can't believe I'm saying this, but cooking is just better for health. I usually hate using health as a reason to do anything, but this is so true that I do have to say it, right? I admit cooking is not as convenient as buying ready-made stuff from the store, right? But besides, you know, being way cheaper to do, the other compromise that's being made here is, when compared to ready-made stuff, should be obvious, right? Any ready-made meal, whether it's cold, you know, in your supermarkets, you know, refrigerator section, or frozen for the sake of the oven or the microwave, they are all much more processed and filled with preservatives so they can be shelf stable, right? So compare that to products of home cooking, right? When made with real ingredients, they're healthier. They do require more planning. The caveat, of course, is that healthier food is fresh food, and fresh food won't remain shelf stable for weeks on end. So you gotta eat it. But hey, usually when people do get into cooking and they are now making food that they like specifically, that whole eating part, that's not really going to be a problem, okay? It's not like you're going to make something delicious and then forget to eat it, right? I've only recently learned that middle Americans can go their entire lives on just processed food, and that's just mind-blowing to me, okay? Good God, no wonder they hate veggies generally. Buy fresh. Anything fresh is just much better for you, and it tastes better. I can't believe I'm the one saying this. As if it's a revelation. I think it should be like basic education from like childhood, but I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I'm absolutely not saying, hey, never go to restaurants again. That's just silly, right? Because cooking is basically a tremendously, infinitely deep rabbit hole, right? I personally still go out to eat to feel inspired, right? The thing is, though, in my household, the more my wifey and I cook, the less we're inclined to eat stuff that we have done really great representations of at home, which already currently includes steaks, burgers, and mussels in a white wine sauce. I'm not saying we won't order any of these items again, just not in the vast majority of kind of like mid-range restaurants, right? These days, for steak, we only look for a dry age or something that we can't do at home. And for mussels, I'm looking for maybe like a different kind of sauce, maybe like a spicy curry sauce for mussels, right? My point is, cooking at home can actually make your dining out experience more interesting, right? Don't just order your old standbys, because if it's an old standby you know and love, you can probably make it at home, right? When eating out, that kind of stuff can be reserved for things that are difficult to replicate at home, such as pizzas or fried chicken. Okay, so what do you guys think? Are you all accomplished home cooks like I'm aiming to be, or still living that bachelor takeout life? Cheers, a la Protion.